I'm going to go ahead and call the October Planning Commission meeting to order tonight. Welcome everybody here. We'll start with our normal housekeeping item of approving the minutes from last month's meeting. Well, after we take the attendance, Justin, go ahead and take the attendance, please.
Miller.
Here.
Jackamore.
Here.
Monfee. Hatley. Here. Duffield. Here. Choate. Here. Smith. Black.
Here.
Cothran. Present. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Thank you, sir. All right. The minutes from last month's meeting, does everybody have a chance to look those over? And what is your pleasure?
Motion. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from last month's meeting. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. All right. All right. First, all right. Item number 1, vacation of alley located at Lot 3 and Block and 10, Block 1, North Side Addition, submitted by Drake Adams and John Stumbo. Sarah, take it away.
Hi, good evening, Commissioners. So this is a vacation of an alley along North Greenwich. The existing conditions are that it is zoned R2 medium density residential and all the surrounding properties are zoned R2. It's an existing single-family home in a developed portion of the north side addition to Russellville. Within this area, we find primarily mixed residential community with single-family, duplex, and small-scale multifamily structures. And as I said, all properties are zoned R2. So there's 3 things that we look at when considering vacating right-of-way, in this case, an unopened alley. It's the public trust functions, land use impacts, and public benefit. So this application does not impair circulation, access, utilities, or open space. This is an unopened alley. North of this location, the alley has already been vacated. There are no land use impacts to the city. The owner would possess development rights for this section of property, granting them the ability to enclose the entire area that they initially believed to be part of their own property. And the public benefit is that ownership of this property would be transferred from the city, returning it to the adjacent property owners who would assume responsibility for its maintenance. So staff does recommend that you all forward this to City Council with a recommendation to approve the request to vacate the 20-foot alley right-of-way adjacent to 1009 North Greenwich as a result of the findings that there is not an impact to the public trust, land use impacts, and no adverse effect to the public benefit, and there have been no objections filed by any of the utility companies. Are there any questions?
All right, thank you, Sarah. Dave, do you have anything you want to add to that? Dave Garza? Nothing? Okay. All right. All right, Commissioners.
Make a motion to approve it as suggested by staff.
Okay.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve as presented. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. All right. Next item. Special use permit to allow institution of age or children in an RO zone located at 1801 Fairway Boulevard, submitted by Barrett & Associates on behalf of Boast Incorporated. Sarah? Or you're not Sarah. Okay. Victoria, give us a staff report on that.
Yes, so this is a large-scale development over off of Fairway Boulevard. And I just noticed one of our screens isn't working, but this one is, so if you guys want to look at the presentation, we do have that. So the existing conditions, this is zoned RO. It is situated between vacant parcels to the north and west, a residential subdivision to the east, and an assisted living facility to the south. The property to the south is also zoned RO residential office, while all other properties are zoned R2 medium density residential. So in our review, the large-scale development was required due to the size of the buildings and the property on site that are proposed. The proposal is to allow the construction of 4 quadplexes and an office building for Boast Independent Living. It does meet all setback requirements, multifamily building design requirements, parking requirements, sidewalk requirements, and they are proposing landscaping in line with the landscaping requirements. So our recommendations, it is staff's recommendation, contingent on the approval of the special use permit, which is the next item, to approve the large-scale development to allow construction of the Boast Independent Living quadplexes with the following condition. The applicant shall complete an incidental subdivision prior to certificate of occupancy, and this is as a result of the findings that the applicant has demonstrated compliance with Article 2.10, Article 3.21, 3.23, Article 4, 5, and 6 of the Russellville zoning code, and the applicant demonstrates compliance with the regulations within Section 7 of the Land Subdivision and Development Code. And that is my staff report. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Victoria. Dave, you got anything on this one?
Dave Garza with Barrett and Associates. So if you've been on the Planning Commission for very long, you'll recognize or remember a couple of years ago, Bose picked 2 sites, one in Russellville and one in Dardanelle. This is the Russellville site. They started, and then they wanted to know what zoning they would have to do, so we rezoned it to the definition that we had at that time. It's changed now, and so we worked with the staff, and they recommended this zone. So it's been zoned once. Now we're zoning it back to the RO. And the Dardanelle site fell through, so we're excited to get this one. So they're going to come here, use their funds here, and once we can get them in here and get them going, I'm hoping that they're going to stay. So this is a business that's going to stick around for a while. Not a rezone.
We're not changing the zone.
Oh, never mind. It's RO. Yeah.
It's RO.
We
Yeah.
talked about rezoning it. Yeah. Okay, sorry. But that's why we zoned it to that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
We know what you meant. We know what you meant, Dave.
Not what I said, but what I meant to say.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah. If you have any questions, let me.
Anybody have any questions for Dave before you? No? Okay. Commissioners? Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve as presented by staff. Would all those in favor acknowledge by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. All right. All right. Well, we have a special use permit to allow an institution of age or children in RO zone located at 1801 Fairway Drive, submitted by Barrett and Associates on behalf of Boast Incorporated. Take us away.
Yes, so you will see a lot of the same information, so I'll run through as quickly as possible. This is a special use permit at 1801 Fairway Boulevard. Same existing conditions, zoned RO, vacant parcels to the north and west, residential to the east, and then assisted living to the south. All surrounding properties are RO and R2 medium density residential. Review comments, the use institution for aged or children, which is what we were able to sort out with Boast, as this use requires a special use permit within the RO residential office district. The proposal is to allow the construction, again, of 4 quadplexes in an office building for Boast Independent Living. And again, their current plan does show that it meets all setback requirements, multifamily design requirements, parking requirements, sidewalk requirements, and are proposing landscaping in line with the landscaping requirements. It is staff's recommendation to approve the special use permit with the following condition. Again, that the applicant shall complete an incidental subdivision prior to certificate of occupancy, and this is as a result of the findings that the applicant has demonstrated compliance with the regulations within Articles 10, Article 3, Article 4, Article 5, and Article 6 of the Russellville zoning code. The proposed use is in line with the adjacent use in the district, and current traffic routes are constructed in such a way to handle traffic for the business. Are there any questions?
Turn your mic on.
I assume that this is a typo on the information.
On the staff report, yes, I caught that this afternoon. I
Okay.
apologize. It is at 1801 Fairway Boulevard.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second to approve the special use permit as presented by staff. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. All right. Item number 3, special use permit to allow automobile truck sales, new and used business in C2 zone located at 114 East E, submitted by NGC Holdings, LLC. Take it away.
Yes, sir. So this is a special use permit located on, what's the address? On East E Street. Sorry about that. Yes, sir. This is a special use permit for NGC Holdings for used car sales. The existing conditions are that located on East 14, it's all wrong, sorry. In a C2 highway commercial zone within the city mall commercial district. This property includes 2 existing structures that were previously utilized as a 10-bay car wash. The existing use is as storage and an office for NCI lawns. Surrounding properties are zoned C2 highway commercial, C4 neighborhood and quiet business, and R3 medium-high density residential. Uses within this corridor include a laundromat, retail, single-family residential homes, and a church. Our review comments: the proposed use of the property being automobile truck sales, new and used, motorcycle sales and service, may be in line with the land uses in the city mall commercial district, given the scale of the proposed operation. The permitting process allows staff to ensure that the standards for Russellville are equally applied. Article 2.10 provides requirements for commercial zone building permit review to include all drives and parking and drainage improvements. Since the writing of the staff report, the applicant has come into compliance with these requirements as the property sits on a concrete pad and the applicant has painted stripes for 2 potential car sales clients, and the applicant has painted a handicap parking spot in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, and car wash bays will be utilized as employee parking. 2 bays will contain for sale vehicles. Staff recommends approval for this application as a result of the findings below. The applicant has come into compliance with requirements listed in Article 2.10, and the applicant demonstrates a willingness to comply with the Russellville zoning code, and the proposed use is in line with the adjacent use in this district, and current traffic routes are constructed in such a way to handle the traffic from the business. Do y'all have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Lemley.
Is there going to be an office on that property?
So the applicant currently utilizes one of the, it's kind of a space that used to be for the pumps for the car wash, and so they've been utilizing that as an office for the lawn care service, and so they'll, I'm assuming, continue to utilize that space for this business as well.
All right, thank you.
All right. Or you got anything to add to that at all? You good? Okay. Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, we have a motion. Second. We have a motion and a second to approve as submitted by staff. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. Next item. Special use permit to allow automotive truck sales, new and used business, and an auto wrecker service in a C2 located at 304 South Knoxville. Submitted by No Peaky LLC. Take it away, Victoria.
Yes, so as stated, this is a special use permit to allow an auto wrecker service and an auto sales lot there at 304 South Knoxville. The existing conditions, this property includes a vacant building. It was previously utilized as a car lot. However, that use has lapsed for over 6 months, and therefore a special use permit is required for the auto sales and the auto wrecker service. The property is located adjacent to an HVAC parts business to the north and west, an Entergy office to the east, and a vacant lot to the south. The property and all surrounding properties are zoned C2 highway commercial. In our review, the applicant is not proposing any real changes to the site. The building is simply being cleaned up in order to be utilized. However, these small renovations are nowhere close enough to triggering standards set in the Russellville zoning code, including sidewalks, landscaping, or commercial building design. Per Article 3.4, the applicant will be proposing an 8-foot site obscuring fence surrounding all outdoor storage of salvage and wrecking operations. The applicant has confirmed that they are compliant with the Arkansas State Towing and Recovery Board standards. The applicant has submitted a parking analysis that illustrates that the site will provide adequate parking, including one ADA space. Part of the applicant's site does include dilapidated pavement that has turned into gravel in some areas, so they are blocking off these gravel areas and just utilizing the southern driveway and existing hard surface area. We are in talks with them currently on how exactly that will be taken care of, but we will confirm that prior to business license issuance. And then building permits cannot be issued to a meets and bounds property. Therefore, a property boundary verification is required, and the applicant has already submitted for that process. So it is staff's recommendation that the Planning Commission approve this special use permit with the following conditions. Prior to business license issuance, the applicant shall stripe the proposed parking. The applicant shall complete their site obscuring fence, and the applicant shall block off the gravel areas on the site per the site plan. And this is as a result of the findings that the applicant demonstrates compliance with the regulations within Article 2.10 of the Russellville Zoning Code. The proposed use is in line with adjacent uses in the district, and current traffic routes are constructed in such a way to handle the traffic from the business. That is my staff report. Are there any questions for me?
Thank you, Victoria. Commissioners, what's your pleasure? Oh, we do have a, is it Tammy? Would you like to speak? Okay. All right. Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve with staff's recommendation. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. All right. Next item. Special use permit to allow RV park in a C2 zone located at 1207 East 16th, submitted by Darren Stevens on behalf of Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. Sarah, you have a staff report?
Yes, thank you. So this is a special use permit for a campground RV park, sort of. It's a temporary proposed use. It will still be the Kingdom Hall. They're doing a renovation at that structure. So this is the location of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. It's a C2 highway commercial zone. There are a mixture of uses from businesses to residential north of this location. And then Hickey Park is directly south of this location. And there, you can't, I do have images here if you have not driven by of what their setup is. They started renovations and then they thought they could just camp on site. And that was a misunderstanding on their part, and therefore this is why we are in this application at this time, and why I have pictures of what is already kind of in use at this time. Campground RV park may be permissible in the Cyclone Neighborhood District, and as I said, building permits have already been approved, and they are under construction of renovations to the building. Overnight camping is only permitted in the M1 or M2 zones for construction sites, of night watchmen, or within a campground or RV park. Article 3.25 requires that our campgrounds, RV parks be issued through a special use permit process. Some of the requirements are unattainable due to the nature of the proposed RV park. Some of the requirements are unattainable, including overall lot size, underground utilities, open space, and the buffer area. But due to the nature of this proposed RV park campground just being temporary, just being during construction, staff has come up with the idea that you can limit the special use permit based on recommendation from Trey to a temporary use. And so it wouldn't remain future forward, they could do an RV park. They are proposing to utilize volunteer construction workers, which will only reside on site during the renovation of the facility, and then they will leave. The primary objective of the zoning code is to ensure that development aligns with community plans. In this instance, the project at hand pertains solely to the renovation of the church, and without any intention of creating a new development. They're not proposing to create a new campground or RV park. So enforcing compliance with Article 3.25, which is typically geared towards those permanent developments, they should not be mandated for a temporary and transient undertaking as this. So it is staff's recommendation that you all approve the request for the special use permit with the following conditions. Grant the approval for 90 days. Allow the city planner and fire marshal to jointly approve one extension for an additional 60 days if it is demonstrated by the applicant, and no more than 3 RV units to be permitted on site under this approval. As a result of the findings that this is a temporary request during construction for unique circumstances, and although they're not demonstrating compliance with the regulations within Article 2.15 or 3.25 of the Russellville Zoning Code, being temporary in nature, conformance would be excessively restrictive. Are there any questions?
Sarah, does provide adequate timeline for what they're needing to get done on their side?
My understanding is they should be done within the next 90 days. However, the applicant is here and could definitely explain or address that question for you.
Is the applicant here tonight? If you'd like to step up and state your name for the record, if you would.
My name is Darren Stevens. On behalf of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I believe the permit, no more than 90 days. It should be complete by the end of December.
Okay. All right, thank you,
Is
sir.
that it? All right.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, this is Richard. You are the city attorney. Y'all have anything to add at all? I mean, y'all good? Okay. All right. Commissioners? what
How
do you-
about the water and sewer situation? How we handling that?
That's one of the conditions that they are unable to meet for a campground or RV park. It is currently connected. Each of the three RVs are currently connected to a pipe that is connected to their sewer service. It is above ground the way they have it set up.
City Court, is okay with this? Anybody here? Jim?
No one is here tonight from City Corps, but they do see all of these applications and did not have any comments on the application.
Okay. You good? You got anything to add, Richard? You good? Yep, go ahead. Your fire marshal, Richard Setian.
Yes, Fire Marshal. Just to let you know, I have been out there, and it's actually put together relatively well. You could tell they've done it before. It's probably better put together than some permanent RV parks. The electrical system, the electrical grid, we've inspected that, and it looks good. And yes, the sewer system and things are above ground, but it is put together well. And they've done, as far as meeting code requirements, and I'm not talking about distances and things like that, but as far as the mechanical and electrical code requirements for a park and even access, as far as fire department, they've met all that. So we don't have any problem from the fire and building side with it at all.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Black, I'll make a motion to approve as presented by staff.
All right, we have a motion to approve. We have a second. All those in favor of approval here, acknowledge by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing
No.
none, the motion, we do have one opposed. Go ahead and take a roll call if you would.
Jackamore. Yes. Monfee. Hatley. Duffield. Choate. Black. Yes. Cothran. No.
Thank you, sir. All right. How many was that? We got a, okay. We have a, all right. Okay, all right. Rezoning a property from R1 to C4 to C2 located at 110 West Harold Drive on 2303 North Arkansas Avenue, submitted by Craft and Toll on behalf of Aikman Family Trust. Sarah, you have a staff report on that?
Yes, thank you. So this is a rezone located over at 110 West Harold Drive. It's at the intersection of North Arkansas and Harold Drive, just south of Lakefront Drive and the I-40 intersection with Arkansas 7. It is does have frontage along North Harold Avenue. It has historically been underutilized, and it is less than 1,000 feet from the southern interchange with I-40. It's a commercial interchange district where you see a variety of commercial uses, including restaurants, auto service stations, hotels, and a small shopping center. Southwest of this property is the new University Lofts Apartments, which is close to being finished. North and south of this property are zoned C4. West is R1. Southwest is College Hill Zone, and east is all C2. If you look at this image behind you, you can kind of see that it is a hodgepodge of zoning over there. You may be seeing this area in the future as staff does work to clean up some of that hodgepodge of areas. But when we're looking at zone change applications, we consider three things: future and current land uses. We use the comprehensive plan as a guide, and we're looking at value or income potential. So this is the Highway Commercial Interchange District. It's within 1,000 feet of the off-ramp from I-40. Uses in this area line up with the request to rezone to C2, and this does align with current uses and development surrounding the property. When looking at the comprehensive plan does describe this area as suburban center, which are the largest of commercial centers in the city. You'll have commercial and office developments with parking. They're auto-oriented and they have low-rise buildings. So if we were looking at the comprehensive plan, it would suggest that this would be more accurately zoned as C2. And then when you look at the value or income potential, changing from R1 to C2 would increase the value, income or value potential of these properties. However, the request is being made of the purchaser of the property and not by the owner prior to listing for sale. And then this is in alignment with the comprehensive plan. It more accurately reflects future growth and isn't based on that desire to just get a higher value or income for their property. As a result of this, staff does recommend forwarding this application to City Council for approval of the request to rezone the property to C2 Highway Commercial as a result of the findings that the application is in line with existing and future land uses within the area. The proposal aligns with Reimagine Russellville 2040, and the value or income potential of the property is not the justification for the request. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Sarah. Is there anybody from Crafton Toll here would like to say anything? If you would, step up to the mic, if you would. State your name for the record, please. What?
No. This is someone else signed up.
What's that?
Troy, do you want to speak?
Talk to me. Say it again. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, she is not with Crafton Toll, so I did want to make sure that the applicant had an opportunity to speak first. He is
Okay.
here if there's any questions, but there is someone else. What is your name? Marsha Wells would like to speak
Okay,
on this.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Marshall Wells.
This future proposal of, changing the zoning, is it going to allow more parking for that 4-story university loft? Because right now, there's not adequate parking for that one even yet.
Sarah, you want to help her out with that?
Yes. I don't understand, yeah.
This application has nothing to do with the university lofts application. So they're completely separate.
It's
Yeah,
rezoning.
but the adequate parking isn't there, so I assumed that they were gonna have to utilize some of that other land there on Harold Drive for parking.
We're here to do a rezone. I mean, we're here on an application to do a rezoning of it. As far as parking and everything, that would go through the city. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stop by our office
Yes.
sometime and we'll go over parking and
All right. Does anybody from Crafton Toll want to, y'all good? Okay. All right. Commissioners, what is your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? I hear 2 seconds. All right. We have a motion and a second to approve the rezoning according to staff recommendation. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. Sarah, unless you have anything else, we are adjourned.